Welcome to the audio excerpts of special seminars and conversations with Nolan Narula on gettingpositivekarmanow.com.
What's the best attitude for charity?
For charity? What is the best attitude? What was the question?
I was telling them whatever God gives you,
Yes.
you should have a habit of taking out a
Yes,
portion.
you
So
should.
What is the attitude?
You should give something to charity to help those who are less fortunate. So you can do charity in many ways. You can do it, some of it yourself. You can support any effort any organization is doing. That is a good thing to do. In the old days, even today, probably the Christian church has a system of tithing. The 10% of your income you donate to the church, because then they do activities that are relating to welfare, education, food, housing, clothing, and spiritual religious guidance. So the system is also to give to the spiritual master. Normally people would end up giving some kind of donation or something to support their efforts. So any way that you want to do it, the injunction is that the recipient should be worthy. Now you start looking for a worthy recipient. Kaun hai is in this day and age? Where do you give your money so that you benefit actually? So that is mode of passion, is a transactional thing. Energy exchange is transactional in the mode of passion, actually. But it is required also. I am doing something, I don't want any karmic debts, so I balance it out by doing something in return. That is good. But it is transactional. So unconditional is different. Now it's not unconditional, doesn't mean I give my money to, just anybody who comes by, or the flavor of the month, what everybody is giving to. And then the mode of ignorance and passion again is that I have to see how they're using the money, how they're misusing the money. And the usual complaint is I give to these people, but most of the money is misused. So what? Some of it is used. If you can see that there are some results being achieved, that is the place where you can give some donation. You can give to bodies that are looking after the handicapped. You can give, for example, at one time we suggested to people, you give to the Jaipur Foot Association, for example. You can give to other such bodies who are looking after the welfare of people, rehabilitation and so on. It's a good thing. The highest is considered to be when you give to a spiritual source of person or an organization that is giving benefits, spiritual and knowledgeable in the mode of goodness benefits.
Temples?
Yes, depending what kind of temples.
Krishna temple?
Yeah, Krishna temple is good, Vishnu temple is good, Nrsimha temple is good. If you contribute, for example, to the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, that's good. If you go deep into the temple, you'll run away.
Yeah, we saw.
Hmm?
We saw it and we had to, deal with that. We thought we were doing something, and then when we realized what it was, so I said that was the biggest learning, because then we realized actually who we are dealing with.
So it can be very disappointing because that's the material nature.
But it's a test-like thing.
Yeah, so the thing is that where there is knowledge, where knowledge is disseminated, meant for the upliftment of people, that is where you can also give your money. You can also support a cause. For example, you can always support the education of children who are less fortunate. If you are inclined, okay, I want to do something for the girl child, for example, You can do that upliftment of the girl child. I want to do something for the cleanliness, civic cleanliness. Okay. Different levels of charity or different levels of doing. Ultimately, it is if you're helping people get out of this whole morass of existence that pulls you back and to the repeated situation of birth and old age. In fact, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita has said earlier that there are two problems that people want to really get rid of is birth and old age. Everything else is included in that. So these are two problem situations. So in the spiritual, there is no birth and no old age, no death, no disease. So that is the pure state. So here one is coming because of the past impressions that have been made on the captured soul's thinking, which is coming through the false ego. The identification aspect of with the material nature, the capturing of the entity with these material modes, the impressions, if you look at the first 5 shlokas of chapter 15, you find that these are talking about how there are past impressions, the upward rising branches, the twigs, and then that is taking you to a higher place or it is bringing you down. What is your past impression? Are these the downward roots or the upward ones? This thing is not charging. ये on ही नहीं है.
So when we donate something with the understanding that even if it's an individual, but we are doing good deed, so we should not think about how they are using it. So what kind of understanding is this?
You should not think about how. You should not think about
Yeah,
how they're
you
using
should
it.
not have doubt that whether they are doing
No.
the right
You should think
things.
about it. Why should you blindly give something? If some person comes and overawes you, I am an expansion of Krishna, and he holds dance performances, choreographed ones, and people foolishly or innocently or idiotically are convinced he's an expansion of Krishna.
So say like organization, they are collecting money by provision of like cancer treatments for the kids or people, and
You can give for things like that, but how much is that going to help the world? Cancer treatment, all that you want, you're inclined to donate to such organizations, you're most welcome. The highest kind of useful donation is where there is the upliftment of the individual to get out of all kinds of cancers and diseases, to return to the spiritual. That is the highest. So when one donates to such causes, one is getting definitely Sukriti of a very high kind. Also, you're parting with some of your energy and you will receive something in return. So as you give, you will receive. So you can give for food, you can give for medicine, you can give for education, you can give for society, you can for any societal purpose that you feel inspired to give. But where these things are creating separatism is not a good thing. Some communalism is not a good thing. But one may be doing that in order to feel more secure, and those are different things. There is charity in the mode of ignorance, charity in the mode of passion, and charity in the mode of goodness also. So all 3 modes of nature, you have charity or charitable works, and that we will study further on. Charity in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So these are things depending on what is your understanding and knowledge base. Dividing communities, one against the other. I am supporting my community against the other community. That's so. It depends on what causes you are promoting. You are going to get some response.
Like in Maharashtra, it's for Marathi Manush, especially.
So if they are wanting to feel, they're feeling some lack of cohesiveness or togetherness. But if you are penalizing others, that's not good. If you are going to use it as an oppressive measure, that is definitely in the mode of passion and ignorance, trying to control. So those are things that you have to be very careful about.
You've been listening to a discussion with Nala Narula on www.gettingpositivekarmanow.com.